Hey guys, and welcome to the first video of Late Night Movie Talks. I'm Lipika,
And I'm Atul.
and we are here to talk about some movies that we really love. So, it all started with, I think, after we got married, we started watching a hell lot of movies. So, Atul has always been a movie buff, and I liked movies but never had a lot of time to watch them. But I think together we have found this pleasure of watching movies together, and we often discuss about movies a lot after we watch the movie. So we thought, why not just record it and make some memories for us as well as some use for you.
Yeah, so this is at the very outset, let us clarify this is not a movie review. We'll just we see it as watching some movies and we want to talk about it, just that we relate to it, these movies. And yeah, so if anyone out there who's listening who wants to be associated with it, you can just comment out in our videos. And yeah, so that will be the whole format of it, I think.
I think it's just going to be a very casual conversation. So, like, I think these videos would be most entertaining to you if you have also watched the movie and you just want to discuss or have a casual conversation about how the movie was. And mostly we focus a lot on character building, and that is something that we like a lot, especially like intense dramas or any kind of movies which have a little bit of depth in terms of how the person is or how life is. So I think those kind of movies give us a lot of joy, and we end up discussing about them a lot. So I think those are the kind of movies we are going to choose in this particular channel. So
I mean, as a couple, I think we are mostly aligned to intense drama movies, I think, which has a lot of character build up in their stories.
Not just intense dramas, I would say, but any kind of movies that have character. But yeah, intense dramas are our favorite.
Our favorite genre. So yeah, so I think let's cut down to the chase, and the movie that we chose today was
Vicky Cristina Barcelona.
Woody Allen's Vicky Cristina Barcelona. It was released in 2008. I found this movie very enchanting, both in terms of the picturesque backdrop in which it was set. Obviously, the acting of the lead Javier Bardem, then Christine Scarlett Johansson in the role of Christina. Then there was Penelope Cruz as Mary Elaine, and
Rebecca Hall
as Vicky. So yeah, let's get on with this movie for the week, Vicky Cristina Barcelona.
Yeah. So as Atul already mentioned, Woody Allen's movie. I think we are big fans of Woody Allen's movies, and recently we've watched quite a lot of movies, be it like Manhattan, Vicky Cristina Barcelona. So yeah, and most of his movies have a theme in which like there is a narration going on in the background, and it just sets the stage for the drama to begin.
Yes.
I like that.
I think the other day you were watching Manhattan.
Yeah.
We were watching Annie Hall.
Yeah.
So it is a typical Woody Allen movie in terms of you like the movie, you don't like the movie, but you will definitely love the characters. You will definitely love the characters speaking in the movie. So
and Woody Allen kind of sets the stage about the characters. Like they'll explain first how each character is, and this movie is basically about two friends. Like the title is literally what is happening in the movie. That there are two friends, Vicky and Christina, both shown to be very dissimilar, yet they have a little bit of each other in themselves. So these are two friends who go to Spain for spending the summer, and there like a lot of things happen with them and their entire summer days, and of course capturing the beauty of Barcelona.
So the movie starts with a narration in the background which sets a very novelish kind of tone for the movie. So the movie starts with the narration that Vicky and it describes Vicky and Christina and how they are very different in terms of their perseverance of love. So yeah, and it has a very soothing music in the very start, and it's set, as I already mentioned, set in the backdrop of Barcelona. You straight away deep dive into a novel which is set at the backdrop of Barcelona, and then you are ready to explore Barcelona and these characters, which sets a very fine tone at the very start of the movie. So that is how we get to know Vicky and Christina. Vicky is a very cerebral girl who is a modern day working woman. She is, I think, doing her majors in Catalan literature, and she is very enthralled by the architecture of Barcelona. And she comes to study the literature, and I think she explores Barcelona more.
And the second character of the movie is Christina. So Christina has is completely opposite to Vicky, who does not have it all figured out, and later we'll know even Vicky did not have it all figured out. She thought she had.
Yeah.
So Christina has an artistic side, of course. So she made a short film which did not succeed a lot. So she's still figuring out what to do in life, and she's just come here with no particular motive, and she's just exploring, figuring out what to do, and she is not really sure what she wants out of life. So Vicky is shown to be as someone who has it all planned. She's about to marry a lawyer who is based out of New York, and has all her life imagined for herself, that they'll get married, they'll have kids, they'll take a big house and everything by the book, and she's kind of happy with that kind of security, as she says in the beginning. And Christina thinks that life is not just about having all these, like a cookie cutter is the term she uses for her husband.
Yeah.
So she says that no, life is not about just having everything by the book, and you got to do something different. So these are the two main characters.
And like we were discussing, at the end we find out that there is a bit of Christina in Vicky, and there's a whole lot of Vicky and Christina as well. And I think this is true for a lot of it reflects a lot of our personality as well.
Yeah.
As we grow.
I think if we talk about ourselves also,
yeah,
we are very different people, but we have a little bit of each other.
Sure. So in terms of personality, I think we tend to be impulsive. A lot of times we tend to, we tend to think that we are not born in the right era or the right kind of age, and we would be much better off in some other era or some other history.
Or maybe some other country, anything.
Yeah. The same thing that we saw in the movie Midnight in Paris, wherein it was mentioned that it is not really romanticizing an era is a thing that we have as humans, and I think in this movie as well, Woody Allen has tried to capture it, and which we get to know at the end of the movie, that it is not always what we think we want. And when we, it is more about what we, I think the movie sets a tone that what we do not want. I mean, the character of Christina was described.
She's sure about what she doesn't want, but she's not sure of what she wants.
Yeah.
So, and then enters the very hot, very charming Javier Bardem. As the New Yorker rightly describes him as criminally attractive. So yeah, I think those were his most handsome days.
Yeah.
And he brings the much needed like the artistic side in the movie. He's a Spanish painter, and so we see him wherein there's an art exhibition, and Vicky's aunt just describes that there's the painter. He's recently divorced with his wife Mary Ellen. Again, Mary Ellen we'll come to later. So yeah, and then this whole scene happens wherein Javier Bardem comes to Vicky and Christina over dinner. Like, he doesn't know them, but he just comes and says, I find you guys very attractive. Why don't we just go and spend the weekend in a small town near
In a very
Spain?"
heavy tone of typical Javier Bardem,
Yeah.
he approaches two girls while they were having dinner on the table, and the conversation starts off that what color is your eye, and then she answers blue, and he tells that let's three of us fly to Ovidio. Then the girls ask that what is there in Ovidio. He says there's a sculptor. Then that makes no sense for us to fly to Ovidio. Then Javier Bardem just casually says that we are young and we'll just
Life
go
is
out.
too dull,
Life
so
is
let's
too dull.
just-
Just go
yeah.
out, and I'll probably read this out. These lines of Javier that he says, and it is one of the most intriguing and one of the most attractive way in which a male accosts a female in all the movies that I've seen. So I think these are one of the good lines that I. So basically, Juan Antonio says, we'll fly for the weekend. We leave in 1 hour. So Christina asks, was there in a video? So Juan Antonio tells it's a very short flight. Vicky asks by plane. Juan Antonio says, mm-hmm. Christina asks, what's in a video? Juan Antonio says, I go to see a sculptor that is very inspiring to me, a very beautiful sculptor. You will love it. Vicky, oh right, you're asking us to fly to Ovidio and back. Juan Antonio says, no, we'll spend the weekend. I mean, I'll show you around the city and we'll eat well, we'll drink good wine and we'll make love. Vicky, yeah, who exactly is going to make love? Juan Antonio in his, whole male character, that with whole charisma around, he says, hopefully three of us. So I think that was one of the great
And
starts.
it does
of the
not
movie.
sound offensive at all.
It does not sound, and that is the
that is the beauty of how he, in a lot of movies they show, right, that there is not just one person whom you should love, and carrying out that whole culture, French and Spanish. So I think it was beautifully portrayed, and then they all fly to Ovidia. What was the name of the place? Oviedo. So there he shows them around, and after some sightseeing, Christina gets some food poisoning, so she can't accompany them, and it's Vicky and Juan Antonio who are spending the days together, and they kind of connect, and it again shows that how first impressions are not always okay, because Vicky had this perception of Juan Antonio as a womanizer, and when she spends, she also understands that he's much more than that, and they talk a lot. He takes her to visit his father, and they also talk. And now that whole segment of when they visit Juan Antonio's father is also like one of my favorite segments.
Yeah.
So there they talk about 2-3 things. So one was so he does not speak English, Juan Antonio's father. So she asks that why doesn't he speak English? So he says no, because he's a poet and he feels like he'll be polluting the language if he learns any other language. I think that was beautiful.
That was a very beautiful thought.
Yeah, very beautiful thought. And second, I think I'll let you take that.
Yeah, so Juan Antonio's father is another very intriguing character of this movie. So, like we said, that this is set against a very picturesque backdrop of Barcelona, right? So, therein Juan Antonio, along with Vicky, go to his father's apartment, his father's bungalow, mansion, whatever. Beautiful place. And he, as Lipika said, he welcomes them in Spanish. He does not speak English because he thinks that it might pollute the tone. Also, Juan Antonio mentions that his father is a poet, but he never publishes his poem. So Vicky is very intrigued as to why is that? Why would someone write such good poetry and not publish it? So Juan Antonio says in a very deep tone, in a very thoughtful sense, that this is his way of his father getting back to the word. In a way, he is trying to say that my father is rebellious of the with the word, because as he mentions, the word does not know to love, but it's in a larger way. It speaks a lot about the word in a way that there is so much of negativity in a sense, and to be a rebel in his sense, he does not publish it.
Yeah.
So I think that was one beautiful
Yeah.
segment also.
And then like it is shown that in that when the weekend approaches to an end, finally Vicky also falls for Juan Antonio and they spend a night together, and the next day they don't tell anything to Christina and they all fly back, and then Vicky starts to think that maybe it was a mistake, maybe not, and she's confused. Like it is shown that she's not entirely thinking that it was a mistake, and she's just thinking about it, and at the same time she's expecting a call from Juan Antonio, and I think Juan Antonio also thinks that okay, because she's already engaged, he doesn't give her a call, and then he starts conversations with Christina after a few days. So Vicky thinks that no, okay, Christina is probably more suited also for him, and she backs out. And then like it is shown that Christina moves in with Juan Antonio, while Vicky's boyfriend and Vicky fiance rather, they decide that his fiance decides that okay, let's just get married in Barcelona, it'll be cool, and she's confused, but she's like no, that is what I had decided. So she says that okay, and then the whole segment is shown, and I think the movie shifts from Vicky to Christina and Juan Antonio.
Yeah. And for Vicky, this is the constant tone that is shown in the movie, that she's always, very decisive that what she wants to be, yet she's very confused. So she's always enticed by Juan Antonio, enticed by his way of living, enticed by the whole Barcelona culture thing, but yet she always has something running at the back of the head that no, I want to go back to my life, go back to the original thought of plan about my life. So that is a character depiction that is shown by Woody Allen, which is reflective of a lot of us, that we also think that our life is should run in a particular course, but when we come across situations, come across certain things that entice us, we are always confused about it. So I think that way is Vicky is shown a bit of not who's not able to decide. Later in the movie, when Juan Antonio calls, they have a chance meetup. Then Vicky mentions that you did not even call me back. But then Juan was like, you had your life already decided, and it would be like I'm sort of stepping into your life in an intrusive way. So that is the whole that is a character depiction for Vicky in the movie.
Another aspect that I feel was shown in the movie, and that aspect is shown in a lot of rom-coms also, if you read any, that there is this guy, a city guy who's perfect but whose horizon won't expand beyond probably golf, a nice house in the city and everything, and then there is a guy who is an artist who
why don't you tell about how you feel bad about these guys in the movie?
That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
That it is shown, and ultimately what happens is that the girl chooses the guy who is more artistic, and the guy who was the guy who had it all planned is always shown to be the stupid guy, or a guy who is not living life to the fullest. So but it's not like that, and even in the movie Vicky chooses that guy in the end. So there's nothing right or wrong is what I believe, and everybody has someone whom they are compatible with. So I think there's a little bit of, I think this movie shows it nicely. Woody Allen has shown it that, because any books you read and most of the movies that you watch, those guys are also not bad, but they are left behind for being too perfect, for having a routine, for having things planned. So I think it's also important to show that it's what suits someone.
Sure.
There might be a couple who like it all planned. There might be a couple who is artistic. There might be couples in which one of them is artistic, one of them isn't. So to bring in the much needed balance. But
I think overall cinema is more biased towards these guys.
Yes.
Towards the guys who are very impulsive and who sort of sweep the girl away from their feet by coming in all dressed up and choosing a nomadic life or whatever. But yeah, I mean, in a conventional sense, we often feel that
even in La La Land, she chose the guy who was more settled, right?
Yeah, I mean, that is a discussion for another day. I think La La Land will surely come up with that as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, so where were we? We were talking about the character description
Yes.
of Vicky, and then the movie
Shifts to Christina.
shifts to sort of Christina and Juan Antonio's ex-wife, Mary Elaine, and their balance as a couple. So Juan Antonio calls up Christina one day and asks her to come to a wine tour. They again meet up. And they sort of Christina moves to the
Moves in,
apartment,
yeah.
moves in with Juan Antonio. So there is a whole segment. It is shown where they are painting, they are making love, they are having a very artistic
And I
life.
think the surroundings also make so much difference in the movies, right?
Yeah.
That, like, hats off to the production house and everything, like how they've done it. Juan Antonio's house is like, you'll feel like it's Van Gogh's or Picasso's house. Like, there are paintings all around. It's untidy, but in a beautiful
In a
way.
beautiful way.
There are paintings lying around, half finished ones,
And you just get out in the evening on your bicycle, you pick berries,
yeah,
and
you
have
go to the countryside.
Yeah, go to the countryside. So it's a very beautiful segment that is shown. Now in the movie, Christina has moved in with Juan Antonio, and I think Vicky has gotten married with Doug.
Yeah, yeah.
Who has come, I don't know if you mentioned this, who has come from his impulsive visit from US to Barcelona.
And nobody sees that side of Doug. Again, I would
Doug is
bring
doing the
this
best
up.
he can, but somehow it is shown
Yeah.
to be what it is. So yeah, they get married in Barcelona, go for their
Mini honeymoon
mini
in Sevilla.
in Sevilla, mini honeymoon in Sevilla. So now one night, there enters the most powerful character of the movie, Mary Ellen, who's the ex-wife of Juan Antonio, who's
Portrayed
played
by
Penelope
Penelope
Cruz.
Cruz.
Yeah.
I think my personal favorite from the movie is, after Javier Bardem, of course, is Penelope Cruz.
So she is shown at the very outset of the movie. When the movie starts, it was Javier Bardem has been described as someone who had differences with his wife, and there were stories running around the town that her wife tried to kill him and all those things.
And
So-
in one scene she says, I just tried to kill you.
Yeah. So, so one night, Juan Antonio gets a call wherein he is informed that his wife has overdosed herself, and then the circumstances are set like she comes to stay with them.
Yeah. And their relationship is shown as both heaven and hell at the same time. I
Yeah.
think, like, they shared a very beautiful bond, but at the same time they couldn't live with or without each other. So
She comes to live with him. Initially, Christina was very apprehensive about it, that what will happen, but throughout it has been shown that Juan Antonio is completed by Mary Elaine. So in a lot of conversations we see that
they understand
Christina
each
and
other.
Vicky pointed out that you are still in love with Mary Elaine, and to which Juan Antonio accepts that Mary Elaine will always be the most important part of his life. So she is shown like a muse to Juan Antonio. So when this character enters, we know that it has a very important part to play in the story, in not only in Juan Antonio's life, but to the whole Juan Antonio and Christina's relationship as well.
Yeah. And I think, like, when the whole story moves, so this is another aspect that has been shown in the movie of coexisting, like three people in a relationship, and how that can also be beautiful, like, at least for some time. And Penelope Cruz is very talented, but because of her nature she's not able to do anything, because she's borderline crazy. That is what is shown in the movie, that she can't handle it. She can't handle her talent, and that is also shown that no matter how talented you are, you need to have some discipline. And again, I read it in a very good article that she's like Frida Kahlo without the discipline. She has all the talents, but she can't just do anything about them, but she always has that, she never has that. In the beginning she's probably a little bit hesitant about Christina and Juan Antonio's relationship, and she's like, is she good, like at the same time she's worrying about Juan Antonio. It's not jealousy that is shown, she's thinking, is she good enough for him? And then there is one beautiful scene where they go to pick some blueberries, and where they talk about talents, and Christina says that I'm not gifted like you both, you are a painter, you are a singer and those things. So there she says, no, you do have a talent. So even though she's always shown to be disliking her, she observes what Christina's talent is, and she says, no, I went through a luggage, I saw the pictures that you click. Like throughout the movie Christina has been clicking pictures, but it hasn't been shown what she's clicking.
Yeah. I think Mary-Ellen, in a very subtle way, yes, she's been shown as neurotic and over the top woman, but she has that knack of an artist, a very
bringing
observer.
out the best in people, like she does with her work.
And she has a very intimidating yet very commanding personality. So
yet very calming at the same time.
So there is this scene wherein Juan Antonio, Christina, and Mary-Ellen are having breakfast. So again Juan Antonio asks her to speak in Spanish. So,
in English.
In English, yeah, because she was always talking in Spanish, but Christina did not understand English, Spanish. So she asks Christina, Juan Antonio, why does she not know Spanish, whether she's not studied Spanish. So Christina says that I've studied
Chinese.
I've studied Mandarin and I know Mandarin. And so she asks casually, why did you study Mandarin? So she says that it sounds very beautiful, it sounds very good. So she
say something in Mandarin.
And she says how are you in Mandarin? And and then she makes a face, and then she says, you think that sounds good? And it was a very powerful scene as well.
So and then she says that then Juan Antonio and Mary-Ellen, they make a dark room for developing Christina's pictures, and it's Mary-Ellen who actually teaches Christina about how to take better pictures, how to decide a subject to take pictures. So she's bringing out the talent in her, and then this whole thing about three of them in a relationship is shown, where they are all happy, they are coexisting, they're balancing it out, and Christina is shown to bring in the missing element in Juan Antonio's and Mary-Ellen's relationship. But one day Christina realizes that this is not sustainable, and then she comes and says that no, I need to move out because I don't think this is what I want. Again, classic Christina, wherein she realizes she's not sure what she wants, but she keeps realizing what she doesn't want. So again she's like, this is not something I want, and then she moves out, and then again the relationship between Juan Antonio and Mary-Ellen falls apart because the balance goes off. So I think, and then the movie again shifts back to Juan Antonio and Vicky, so wherein they again talk, and Vicky is still thinking that maybe I did a mistake by not taking that road, by not getting together with Juan Antonio. And then I think in one of the last segments of the movie, he takes her to his place, and then again Mary-Ellen comes up with a gun and shoots her in the hand. So she's like, no, this is not the life that I want for myself. And then she realizes that no, I am meant to be with the planned guy, and then she moves. So that's what I was talking about, like you might or might not be compatible. And again, we often wonder in life that the road not taken was a better road in anything, in terms of career, in terms of relationship, in terms of any kind of decisions that we make, in terms of even following a particular itinerary in a trip. We always think that the one that we did not choose could have been better, but that's not always the case. And in life, you might get a lot of chances to explore the road not taken, but not in all scenarios. In some things, you will never get the chance to experience if the road not taken was good or bad. And you just have to make peace with it, because it's not necessary that the road not taken was a better road. So I think
True.
that was a great message for me for the movie.
Yeah. I think, and Woody Allen's movie, I don't think so that, we can take out some moral message or something. It's just a very, like we said, it's just a very
character
study type of movie set against a very beautiful backdrop of Barcelona, where you just immerse yourself in certain characters. One thing that I think I would take away from the movie was that you always find yourself in such confusing situations, and where you're very sure that if I take a certain path, like you said, the road not taken, my life would be certainly very happy, and it's just a grass is greener on the
Yeah.
other side
Yeah.
type of concept. Because once, and a lot of once you are there, you sort of realize that no, this is not for me, I'm probably meant for something else, or something which normal people want, and there's nothing wrong with it. And from my personal observations, I think this is a phase that often comes to your life, and it is usually during those 20s type of phase, that I'm not from this world type of phases
Yeah.
in life. But then again, once you get into that thing, you realize that maybe it's fine, maybe
Yeah.
what I want to do with my life, with a lot of other people, I should do that. So
Yeah.
that is what it is.
Yeah. So I think that was our takeaways, and those were some of our observations from the movie. I hope you found this video entertaining, to say the least. Of course, it's nothing big or anything that we're doing. It's just a casual conversation. So yeah, let us know if you liked it, and we are still figuring out the next movie. But if you have any recommendations, please let us know in the comments, and we will see you in our next video. Thank you so much.
Thank you and
Bye.
good night.
Good
Bye. यार उसका खत्म हो गया मेमोरी.
It's not recording.
I don't think so.
थोड़ा भी नहीं हुआ क्या?
I don't know. तुमने खाली नहीं किया था क्या उसका मेमोरी?
अबे हो तो रहा है.